live from the Dunkin Latte Lounge.
Ditched all of our friends to hang out. We would play pretend like we were already famous. You had all the charm, I was young and stupid. Thought that it was normal, getting treated like. Every time you had a bad week, you would block me. Miss me, then you added me back, saying sorry. If it was a part of your plan, then you got me. It's really quite incredible. Gotta give you credit though. You always play the victim, used to be convincing. You love me when you need it, left when it was easy. Heard you doing great now, journaling your work out into meditation. When you're gonna call me and give me that apology, there I go again, back in fantasy. I'm trying to figure out what's the real truth. Did you really change, or do you just want to? I don't miss the old you, and I don't like the brand new. Acting like you care doesn't make you self-aware. You always play the victim, used to be convincing. You love me when you need it, left when it was easy. Heard you doing great now, journaling your work out into meditation. Oh, congratulations. When you're gonna call me and give me that apology, there I go again, back living in a fantasy. Living in a fantasy. Funny how a fantasy can end up as a tragedy. All you ever had to be was someone who was nice to me. Gave you every part of me, you took it all so happily. You always play the victim, used to be convincing. You love me when you need it, left when it was easy. Heard you doing great now, journaling your work out into meditation. When you're gonna call me and give me that apology, there I go again, back living in a fantasy. Living in a fantasy. Living in a fantasy. Oh my God, you guys know all the words. I love it. Oh my goodness. The next song we're going to sing is Best Friend Breakup. Everyone at school thought we were sisters. Dressed the same, talk the same, together all the time. You can find me in your family pictures, next to you in the frame, but you moved on and I'm replaced. I only wanted you to be happy, but I never thought it'd be without me. Oh, now you don't know me at all. You left with no warning. Always thought that it'd be love that was gonna mess me up. Didn't think it hurt this much when best friends break up. You don't even seem upset about it. Guess I'm the one who lost the things you had all the time. You seem like you're cool with or without it. 'Cause you put me through hell just to have someone else. I hope he always makes you happy, but why did it have to be without me? Oh, now you don't know me at all. You left with no warning. with no warning. Always thought that it'd be love that was gonna mess me up. Didn't think it hurt this much when best friends break up. Oh my God, thank you guys. You guys are so loud. I love it. I love you guys know the words.
Hi. Hey. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
So let's just talk about it. The first song you just performed was Fantasy. How did that collaboration come about?
Yeah. I keep doing radio shows with Gail and Em. Yeah. And we kept bumping into each other at literally all of them, and we're like all around the same age. And so we kind of just became like buddies, and every time we'd see each other, we'd be like, hey. Eventually that formed into a group chat. We all kind of became, it kind of felt like I didn't feel like I could hang out with Em without Gail, you know, because we were always like together, so it was like a trio. So we called ourselves the Powerpuff Girls. That was our group chat. But we never really we were like, oh, let's collab, but like typical, you're friends
Not
with an
serious.
artist, like let's collab, yeah. So we never like actually talked about it. And then randomly I was like, I'm just gonna send it to them, see if they want to be on it. Be like, no pressure, not a big deal. Like don't think about it too much. And they were both so excited about it. And then we finally all ended up being in the same city at once, which is like impossible to do with the three of us. And we went back in and we wrote their parts on the song.
So you all three physically worked together? Like in the studio or?
Oh, no, we were when we went back into the studio. Yeah.
Because I feel like nowadays there's so much work done through like Zoom and Skype or Teams.
Yeah, we're like lucky that we managed to be in the same location at the same time to be able
What
to
was
do
that energy like in a studio when you're working with not only two friends of yours, but two friends that happen to be like uber talented?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny because I feel like when you're friends with singers, you're like, you forget they're singers, and then they open their mouth, and you're like, oh my God, you are the most talented person I've ever met in my life. Like, I remember thinking they're going in the studio and being like, no, they can't be like as amazing as I think they are, and then more amazing than what you think they are. Like, so talented live. They're just the best to be around. They're such talented writers, too. Like, sometimes I feel like when you're friends with people, like, you don't see them in their actual work setting, so you don't really know how they, like, write or how they do things, and it was really cool to actually just, like, see how talented they are up front.
What's that, I don't want to say insecurity, but basically what's that insecurity like when you know you got to step your game up because these two over here are going to kill it and you know they're going to kill it, right?
Honestly, I feel like they're literally the nicest people in the entire world that I feel like I could be like untalented and they'd still be like, Slay, you're the best. Like, so I definitely didn't really feel any pressure because I knew that they are just like the most welcoming humans ever.
So what can we expect from you in the rest of this year moving forward?
Yeah, an album, yes. You will get an album, I promise. Yeah. And a tour. You will get a tour, I promise.
Should I just ask them?
Yeah.
Right?
They know it's coming. We'll definitely have an album, I promise. I sent in my track list. It's coming very soon. Yeah. I have the artwork. I haven't shown it to anyone, but
Now you don't have to show us the artwork, but can you describe it as legal as possible?
I feel like it's going to be, I'm not like 100% proud of all my artworks I've ever done. A lot of them were like, you guys know the song blows up on TikTok and then you have like literally a day to figure it out kind of thing. And I feel like the album artwork is a very big elevation into a different creative space. Yeah.
Now, is it something that you did on your own, or do you collaborate with others when it comes to album artwork?
Oh yeah, no, we had a creative director and lots of people involved helping with it. Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between like just specifically what Lauren Spencer Smith wants, bam, right there, and then what like the creative team? Like, is there really that big of a difference or no?
I feel like there's not that big of a difference. I feel like it's kind of like songwriting. Like it's just a very like collaborative. You talk it through. You're like, oh, like maybe we do red, and then someone's like, ooh, is red good for this? And you're like, good idea. That's not right. And then like you just kind of talk it through and kind of figure out what you want. But I do say like big cred to like the creative director.
Do you ever feel pressure? And I always like to ask this question to artists that come to us from cities that may not have the biggest mainstream artist history, let's say, right? Like, and you're from Vancouver, correct? So do you ever feel any pressure to like put Vancouver on the map, or is it just kind of like, I'm gonna just do my own thing and take Vancouver along for the ride?
Yeah, I definitely want to be like that person that's like, oh, she's from Vancouver. Like I want to be in like the Vancouver Wax Museum as like known as like the local Vancouver like celebrity. Like she's in the Wax Museum.
That's actually dope.
Well, because I went to the Amsterdam Wax Museum, and there was all these like local Amsterdam like famous artists, but like maybe wouldn't be known like full worldwide. And I was like, well, they're in their wax museum, so like
I for sure can get in Vancouver's one day.
Have you? When was the last time you went to Vancouver's Wax Museum?
A very, very long time ago.
So you know what? I will do it. I will say it now. Look into the camera. She deserves to be inside the Vancouver Wax Museum, damn it, okay? Vancouver, you need something positive because it ain't coming from your Canucks, all right?
I'm an Edmonton fan, so it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oilers.
So you're like really happy right now.
Yeah, I'm okay. Well, I wouldn't really happy. It's even. We have a game tonight.
So you're a hockey fan.
I'm not happy with LA.
Well, fair.
Yeah.
You're busy, right?
Yeah.
You're in New York City. You're running around, but you're passionate about hockey. You're passionate about your Oilers. What do you do for the game tonight?
Well, my boyfriend. So the reason I became an Oilers fan was because of my boyfriend. And so now, if I'm busy, my boyfriend will give me like full text updates. Like, nurse just hit this person. Like, Nuge just did this. Like, I get full updates by the minute of like what's happening in the game.
So you can literally walk away from your phone and come back to 77 texts?
Yeah. And it'll be a whole thing, and then it's like 4-3, 2. Like, it just goes off.
Be honest. Do you read all 77 or just like the last?
No,
two
I
or
read
three?
them all. I like get excited as I'm reading them as if I'm like visualizing the game.
You are a much better partner than me or 97% of the people that are watching this. So where do you watch the game? Where do you consume the game? How do you consume it?
If I'm home, we watch it on my TV in my living room. We wear the jerseys. He wears McDavid. I wear Nurse. And if we lose them, sometimes we swap jerseys and we're like, maybe it was bad juju that you wore that one. We have like the full necklace chains. But recently, with the huge logo, recently we've been going to some of the games in person. So that's been really fun.
What's that electricity like when you go to a game and you feel that energy from the crowd and then you turn around and realize that same energy is being given to you when you perform?
I feel like I literally, I
watch.
watch the players and I'm like, babe, they're like famous. Like, look at them. Like, I see their faces and I'm like, oh my goodness, they're like famous. And then he's like, babe, that's literally what people think about you. And I'm like, no, it's not the same. Like, they're like hockey players.
Well, there's like 20,000 people at the iHeart Radio Music Festival daytime stage looking at you, singing fingers crossed back to you, the way they're yelling at Connor McDavid for scoring a goal.
No, it's
depending
not
on
the
the city.
same. It's not the same.
He begs to differ. It's the same, okay? He begs to differ. That's a good thing. You're a diehard fan is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. So you know, you're gloating. You're being really happy about your boyfriend. You're smiling when you speak about your man's. But a lot of your music wasn't necessarily like the most powerful and positive sounds, right? And you're smiling when I say that. But how does that change happen as a songwriter for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually kind of concerned that I'm happy. I'm a little concerned that I'm gonna.
Shout out to therapy, baby. We out here.
Yeah, shout out to actually becoming a better person. I'm a little concerned I'm gonna get like too happy and then be like, oh, what do I write about? But I feel like because I write everything about real things, I just write about whatever is happening in my life. So I feel like I'm gonna hit a point where I don't have songs and I'm gonna need to like go out and live and do things to actually have the experiences to write about. But there's a lot of things that I feel like don't come from relationships that I still write about that are sad. So we're good for the whole second album. Don't worry.
All right.
Yeah.
We want the heartbreak, damn it.
Yeah.
We
Maybe
wanna feel.
third album might have some more happy songs.
That's fine.
This album has 2 happy songs.
It's called Evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I did bring up mental health before. What do you do to bring yourself back to like an even keel? 'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes if you're too high, you got to come down. If you're too low, you got to come
Yeah.
up.
Facts. I mean,
what do you
I've
do?
definitely been struggling. I feel like I'm like the type of person lately that's just been very like something happens and I'm like going into the downward spiral. I've recently been reading a book about how not to do that.
What's the book?
It's called Getting to Neutral
Okay.
by Trevor something. So I've recently started reading. I made a promise to myself in 2023 that was something I wanted to do for my mental health because I think it like de-stresses you and is like better for you. I've been trying to get into hiking, which I'm
On
really
purpose?
excited on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, I love being active. Working out and like being active is something that like literally de-stresses me instantly and makes me feel a lot happier. So I do that. Oh, my Apple Watch is like, you don't do that.
Siri's calling her
Yeah.
out like, you lie, girl. These steps are telling you otherwise.
No, I do. And I attempt to eat healthy. I have not been eating healthy. The last 2 weeks I've just been going rogue. But
But what have you been doing the last 2 weeks exactly?
I mean,
Not eating wise, like in your life. Like, have you been traveling a lot?
No, actually.
Damn it! I was trying to help
Yeah.
you out and be like, "Yo, you're on the
It's
road,
so-
dog."
I know. When you're on the road, there's the excuse, but when you're home, it's like, oh, you're just eating terrible.
You know what? You were home and you were in the most comfortable place possible. So
I know.
That's how we
And
could
when
look
you
at
go
it.
home though, and you haven't been home in a while, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get the local pizza, the local Chinese food. Like you just go through the genres of food that you haven't had at home. It's a mess. It's a mess.
So you have a successful following across all social media. What's been the coolest interaction you've had on social media? Somebody sliding into your DMs, somebody commenting.
Ooh, that's a great question. I feel like two things. One is like other huge artists reaching out to you is really, really cool.
Like who? Start name dropping. Let's go. This is your opportunity to talk your shit, girl.
I think the first person that ever DM'd me actually was Jimmy Fallon, and I like freaked out. I know I've been on Fallon now, so it's like might not be as cool, but I genuinely freaked out.
It's literally the coolest thing you could do.
I know, but now I've met him, so it might not sound like as cool, but I freaked out when he first DM'd me. I feel like I meet a lot of artists on the carpet too, so then it kind of like debunks them DMing me, and then I'm like, oh my god, we met. But I feel like when fans like make videos to the songs, like explaining their stories as to why the song helped them or like how it helped them, I feel like that's always really touching and cool to see that like your music has actually helped other people.
When you sit down and you start writing songs, is it just like I'm writing this song for me, or do you try to make a radio single, if you will?
I definitely try to write songs for other people. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm like, how do I write a radio single? I think if you get too in your head about that, you just go crazy. But I definitely write about I do write for me, like it's therapeutic, but I always say that like I write about my experiences to help other people because I didn't have the song I needed when I went through the experience. So if there's anyone out there that is going through what I went through, that I'd want them to have the song.
What would you say has been the most honest song you ever wrote, like the most vulnerable, where
Oh,
you were
God.
like, oh, I don't know if I really want to put this out now that it's done?
Definitely 28. I was like, I've cried to that song so many times and had so many conversations with my therapist, my friends, my management, being like, here's the pros of putting it out, here's the cons. Like even to this day, like part of me probably still like I shouldn't have put that song out, but I did. Yeah.
But they reacted the moment you said it, so you did some good. There's some positivity to that.
Yeah, but they know why. It's like a personal song, so they're like, ah.
So one more time, we got an album coming out.
Yep.
We got a tour.
Yep.
When in regards to being on the road, is it your own thing? Are we on the tour with somebody?
Yeah, it's my own thing. It's my own thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So we
Yeah.
got that out there. We
Yeah.
love it. What are your plans for the rest of just the summer? You know what? On that note,
I plead the fifth.
on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this was Lauren Spencer Smith. I do have one more question.
Oh, God.
This is the Dunkin' Latte Lounge, so I'm going to put you on the spot. You got 60 minutes
Oh.
to sit down in a Dunkin' with any one artist that are alive to ask them anything you want for
Oh.
60 whole minutes. Who are you kicking it with?
Adele. Okay. Yeah.
What is it about Adele exactly that makes you go, I want to pick her brain for 60 whole minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I just love her. Like growing up, she was my inspiration for absolutely everything. If you can't tell, the sad piano ballads. But I feel like she's just always been herself. But she also like grew up in the era that had nothing to do with social media, kind of thing. So I think it's cool to pick somebody's brain who's not in that era. And she's always just stayed true to who she is with her music. Always done the ballads. She never like shifted into the pop lane of doing up-tempo pop that I feel like literally every ballad writer ends up doing at some point, and she's always just stuck to it. So I'd love to just talk to her.
I feel like I've invaded your private space this entire time. What's your name?
Johnny.
Johnny. Who would you like to kick it with at a Dunkin' for 60 minutes?
Think about this John Mayer.
I knew you were gonna say John Mayer.
John Mayer, okay. Now, why specifically John Mayer?
Oh man, probably just because he's able to like hone his craft on the guitar as well as songwriting, you know, and like he's just a multi-versed musician and artist that has achieved so highly in all of those different forms, you know. So yeah, that's why.
Shout out to Johnny and his perfectly coiffed hair. And one more time, Lauren Spencer Smith in our Dunkin' Latte Lounge, who has absolutely zero plans this summer.
Yeah, none.
Live from the Dunkin' Latte Lounge.